Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Let her please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, ask everyone to please remain standing for a moment of silence for Elizabeth Stagg, who was an employee in Bergen County, very involved in the flooding commission. Thank you. Will clerk please read the minutes to be accepted?
Minutes to be approved are September 28, 2016, work session, Freeholder Tonelli was absent. October 5th, 2016, work session, Freeholder Tonelli was absent. October 5th, 2016, public sessions, Freeholder Tonelli was absent.
A motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. A motion to open the meeting in public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now have a hearing in general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce the time is expired. Please fill out a slip of paper with your name, address, general topic if you wish to speak. Mr. Powers.
Chuck Powers, TNET and Bergen Grassroots. The county really lost a really competent person in losing Elizabeth Stagg. I just found out about it in the middle of last week. I was calling her following a conversation with the riverkeeper and was shocked to hear it. It's a real loss for this county. Several of you do know that we have 2 nights of debates next week, or we'll call them forums, and actually the last time it turned out to be a forum. The freeholder candidates, 7 of the 8 who participated in the Legal Women Voters will actually be back, we believe, next Wednesday night at 7:30 at TNET Auditorium, TNET Library Auditorium, and that will go from about 7:30 to 9. And then the next evening, we'll have all 3 candidates for the constitutional officers of the county, the clerk, the surrogate, and the sheriff, in a similar discussion for about an hour and a half. I think it's an important opportunity for the public to follow up, and I think that we will build on what we have learned already, and that Todd South has been reporting quite adequately in the record. Let me also just say that I was really impressed to see 300 people today. There was a breakfast, and when we only had 50 people, we only offered coffee and cookies. But there was, to get a free breakfast and then hear what we heard this morning about the importance of mental health, both funding and adequate policy, was a really important step. And what we are trying to do with the work that we're trying to do on understanding the decisions that the county is looking at on Bergen Regional is also, I think, extremely important. We had 5 really quite expert panel members. The author of the new law that allows for the county to form an authority, one of your own members, John Felice, not here tonight, but did a very lovely job in articulating an excellent perspective on the question. The head of health services for Paramus, the secretary treasurer of the HPAE, the organized leader for Bergen Regional employees, and then Renee Steinhagen, who actually has known this issue for a very long time as a public interest lawyer. And they came together in a rather interesting way around one issue that actually was the same issue with which the county's own advisory committee had left the county as well, which was, in the course of trying to work through this very complex set of issues that you folks will be making decisions about, be sure that you take the time to get it right, because that is the sort of fundamental message. They all cohered around that. Those are very different people, having really quite different perspectives if you know them, and to have them sort of cohere on that particular recommendation, recognizing you had such a great start with that county report on on that set of tasks. And then to try to figure out how it is you implement that now at the end of a 19-year contract and moving forward with the importance of that facility in the context of trying to provide an ecosystem of protection, particularly for mental health and addiction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Mr. Moretti. Mr. Moretti, you want me to go to the next person and come back to you?
That would be okay, great.
Okay, great. Mr. Noble.
Good evening. You know why I'm here.
Oh, yeah. First in?
Marty from ARTY. I need to know some things. I think we need some dialogue here. I need to know whether the board sees my problem as a problem. Do you recognize it as a problem or only a circumstance? Because it's a problem for me. It's worse again than it was 3 weeks ago. You said you would do something, someone called, a woman called, she seemed to be sympathetic, she seemed to be on topic, she seemed to be real good, and that's the last time I heard from her. It was about 10 days after the last meeting. So it's been 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know. In the last 3 days, I have seen in 3 yards, adjacent yards, 6, 11, and 7 deer. That's 24. The most I ever saw before was 11, before this year. Do you really think this problem is going away? Do you really think you can sit back and do nothing and just have the deer population decrease? It's not going to happen. You've got to kill the damn things. I mean it. Kill them. Get them out of there. No more, let's do something, kill them. Get them out of there like other places do. Get them out of there the way they get rid of the bears. They are dangerous animals. They have disease. They leave crap all over my yard. They eat everything I own. 27 plants have been destroyed this year. 27! They average about $15 a piece. That's just this year. I have bought 23 bottles of deer spray. Doesn't work a bit. You say you're going to do something, you have solutions and suggestions. None of it works. The only thing that is going to work, unless you build a damn fence that keeps them in the wildlife center, is to kill them. I have asked you, I've been nice, I've been cordial, I've even been happy here. But you don't do anything. You do zero. This woman called, and again, she seemed pretty good. I don't know who she is, I didn't take her name down, that was my fault. I haven't heard from her. And again, the deer are destroying everything I own. I'd like to know why I had a quality of life. I worked at it, I like to maintain my yard, I spend a lot of money on it, I like doing it. I can't do it anymore. I have nothing left to take care of. They eat every damn plant. There's one thing that's been there for 29 years, untouched. 2 nights ago, it was destroyed. We had a whole bunch of lantana in the front yard. I had someone take them out to put in mums. There was one plant that had been there that was exposed. In 1 night, after it was sprayed, it was eaten to nothing. Another $20, so what? But you don't do anything. Where do I go if I don't come to you? Police aren't going to do it. Thank you.
So Noble, since your last visit, I've had conversation with the administrator, and he's going to address you on this issue.
Speak, please.
Mr. Noble, that was Deborah Yanko, who's part of our animal
That's
control,
who it is,
who
yeah.
actually reached out to you.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to actually have discussions about potential solutions. We've had discussions now, we've engaged with the New Jersey State Fish, Game and Wildlife in terms of potential plans. As you know, you mentioned the recent bear hunt that was in Essex County, for example, and on every few years there's particular hunts that happen there. You have to submit an overall plan to be able to start engaging in the hunt process, so to speak. So we've had conversations with Fish and Wildlife, and this is a problem that is actually statewide. The deer population has exploded statewide. There's many urban cities who've never had deer problems now that they're having deer problems as well. So you should know that there is work that's being done.
So I'm safe in assuming it is recognized as a problem.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because that's a step that I never heard before.
Right.
And I've been going over what I've heard here and what I've said, and I'm sorry if I shouted, and I did, but I'm not sorry. I've done everything I can do that's legal. I throw rocks at the damn things, and I hit one the other day. I hope I heard it. Because something has to change. It just can't be this way anymore. Or else I just move, and then you'll have other people who won't give a damn about their property. There's a real situation here of people who want to get out of this crap, who want to give up their houses because they're just sick of putting up with damage. All the money, Jesus. I mean, I'm retired and I'm living comfortably, but I don't have enough money to buy new plants every hour.
Mr. Noble, also, I just mentioned this with county council, and you should be aware, and you may be, because you're aware of these kinds of things. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but this issue is not within the jurisdiction of the county to take the kind of action that you're asking for. So, well, as Mr. Niels just said, they've been in contact, the administration's been in contact with Fish, Game, and Wildlife.
Okay.
It's a state issue. If everything coalesces and the problem has been recognized as being statewide, some kind of remedy, such as what you are interested in having done, might be in the offing. But it's outside the power of the county and this board, really, to take the action that you're looking
Right,
for.
this is my 8th trip. No one ever told me that this isn't in your jurisdiction. I've never heard that before. Because if I knew it, I'd go to the state. I figured I should go through channels.
Well, in fairness, the few times you came, it was a discussion on whether the fence was broken and they were getting around the fence with the county piece of property. So that's, I understand why you came here, and that's what we were kind of
Has
addressing.
anyone ever, I mean, I've invited you all. We can have a barbecue, we can eat venison. Come and see. My neighbors came over the other day, and they hadn't been there in a while, the neighbors down the block. And they walked me back, they said, it looks terrible here. Why is that? I mean, you always keep things so neat. I said, I can't. It doesn't matter what I do. They have chewed up one plant.
Time's up, Mr. Noble.
All right. Please, just let me know and ask Deborah to give me a call. Because then maybe I can go to someplace. Is it Trenton, I assume?
It is Trenton.
Yeah.
And I will have Ms. Yanko keep
Yeah,
you
I'm sorry,
abreast of-
I lost her.
No, that's fine, that's fine. We'll have her keep you abreast of what our efforts are, and even
Okay.
with in communication we have with Trenton also.
Okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Mr. Moretti.
Salvatore Moretti, Alpine Drive, Paramus. I have mentioned that after 3 years, I sent down a 1,500-page report on Bergen County, located next to Manhattan, and housing for some years since 1907, the Bergen Evening Record, which apparently had its criminal reportage rewritten in New York City. I think it is noteworthy that when I was born the same year that the boat, the ship, was turned back from Hamburg, Germany, when it attempted to land in Havana, Cuba. And it attempted to land there May 28th of 1939. I was born in the winter of 1939, but my birth certificate advances to the spring, May 28th of 1940, which is strange. But another strange thing I noted when I was doing my 1,500 pages is saying, I did a research project on the libraries, 75 libraries in Buggles, and I noted that Thomas S. Saz in psychiatry was virtually non-existent in the Buckles 75 libraries. He is concerned with, as anyone in that field, such as myself knows, with the politics and psychiatry, and the uses of psychiatry by politics. One of his books is Law, Liberty, and Psychiatry. The other is The Age of Madness. The other is The Myth of Mental Illness. The other is The Theology of Medicine. And none of them is available in Buckles, nor indeed is the works of Conrad Lorenz and Robert Ardrey. I put this together. There's about 48 pages on my survey of the 75 libraries. I have a cover letter. I also responded to a request to show up at an open house at my Demarest estate, 32 acres along Hillside Avenue. And when I showed up, I had been living there for 10 years, and this town news was thrown on the lawn. Had a request to show up at the
3
school.
minutes, Mr. Moretti.
And when I did so, they called the police.
Sorry.
Here's the report.
Thank you, Ms. Moretti. A motion to close the meeting to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Will the clerk please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions on consent tonight are 1022-16 through 1066-16.
I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Boss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes. Are there any resolutions of non-consent polled or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read them?
There are none.
We'll now go on to the three ordinances for first reading and introduction. Introduction and first reading of ordinance 16-26. Will the clerk please read the ordinance 16-26 by title only?
The 16-26 is by title, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $4,725,000, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $4,499,000 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
I have a motion to introduce ordinance 16-26 as read by the clerk.
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Abstain.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Boss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Before I cast my vote, I just wanted to mention three quick things from this ordinance. I know we don't normally have comments on the first reading, but this ordinance has a few things in it that pertain to safety, fencing, security, some things that were mandated that we do at the Overpeck landfill that has to happen. Also, the Darlington Clubhouse that for 20 years has been no improvement. So this is a very comprehensive county parks plan that's long overdue. It also includes our winter wonderland that the county executive has talked about, having Bergen County Parks a destination year-round. So I'm going to vote in affirmative on this. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I make the comment?
Sure.
As you did? My abstention is related to the discussion we had earlier at the work meeting. We have $16 million in park capital funding in older balances, and Mr. Lupino, the treasurer, is going to answer a number of questions that were asked.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So ordinance 16-26 passes first reading.
Introduction, first reading of ordinance 16-27. Will the clerk please read ordinance 16-27 by title only?
Title is read as follows: an ordinance establishing weight limits on certain Bergen County bridges.
May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-27 passes first reading.
Now we're going on to second reading and adoptions of ordinance 16-23. Will the clerk please read ordinance 16-23 by title only?
The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, October 9, 2016, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 16-23 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:217 on Friday, October 7, 2016. The title is read as follows: Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $2,485,000, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $2,485,000 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
Do I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 16-23 to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We'll now have a public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. To speak about ordinance 16-20 only. At this time, the board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Seeing nobody wishing to speak, may I have a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 16-23 to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Public hearing on ordinance 16-23 is now closed. Is there any board discussion or comments on ordinance 16-23? Not seeing any, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-23 as read by the
Second.
head? Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-23 is adopted on second reading.
Second reading and adoption of ordinance 16-24. Will the clerk please read ordinance 16-24 by title only?
The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published on the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, October 9, 2016, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 16-24 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:217 on Friday, October 7, 2016. The title is read as follows: Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $1,715,000, therefore and authorizing the issuance of $1,632,500 and bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
Do I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 16-24 to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. To speak about ordinance 16-24 only, at this time, the board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Not seeing anyone from the public wishing to speak, may I have a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 16-24 to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The public hearing on ordinance 16-24 is now closed. Is there any board discussion or comment on 16-24? Not seeing any, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-24?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-24 is adopted in second reading.
Second reading and adoption of ordinance 16-25. Will the clerk please read the ordinance 16-25 by title only?
The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in the Record and the Herald News on Sunday, October 9, 2016, and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of the hearing and ordinance number 16-25 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 48:2-17 on Friday, October 7, 2016. The title is read as follows: A bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $1 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $952,000 in bonds and notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
A motion to open the hearing on ordinance 16-25 to the public.
So.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. To speak about ordinance 16-25 only at this time, the board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the timekeeper will announce that the time has expired. Anyone wishing to speak? Not seeing anyone, may I have a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 16-24?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Public hearing on ordinance 16-25 is closed. Is there any board discussion or comment on ordinance 16-25? Not seeing any, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 16-25 as read by title?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Freeholder Di Nicola.
Yes.
Freeholder Felice is absent. Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Freeholder Sullivan.
Yes.
Freeholder Bus.
Yes.
Freeholder Zor.
Yes.
Chairman Tinelli.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-25 is adopted at the second reading.
We'll now have freeholder committee reports, so a few people have made requests not to have them tonight, and a few would like to have them, so we're going to have them. I'll ask everyone to please keep them within their time limits, be conscious of everybody's time. So I'm going to start with Freeholder Sullivan.
Is there something going on tonight? There's a debate? Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Well, I'll try to be as brief as possible. We did a lot of things in the county. We had the county Italian flag raising here at Bergen Plaza, which I was glad enough to give the closing remarks. And my closing line for that, just so everyone knows, is we're so diverse in Bergen County that an Irish guy delivered the closing remarks at an Italian event. So that's how diverse we are in Bergen County. It's something to be proud of. Everyone steals their Irish for a day, so I stole the Italian. Bergen County Fall Festival was at Van Song Park a few weeks ago. It was a good turnout. There was a lot of different vendors there, so there was rides for the families to enjoy. These are the kind of events that just keep bringing more people to our parks, and I think that's a good thing. Also, events on this past Saturday, Bergen County's Art in the Park. It's where all the artists come together and they display their work and it gets judged. It also gives people an opportunity to look at some art if they're interested in buying it. But another thing that our parks does is just bringing people together in the county, and that was wonderful. Freeholder Di Nicola and I presented the awards, and it was nice to see. We had a good time there. Getting back to the parks, these are the things that we do in our parks that just add value and quality of life to us. So I'm very big on with the parks. And we're continuing and we're moving forward with public-private partnerships in our parks to hold the line on the burden of paying the taxpayer paying all of this money. So a classic example is the dinosaurs. We all know that is it's going to be wonderful when that starts going to full throttle. We'll be sharing in the profits, and we'll be able to take those profits and invest them in the parks to save taxpayer funds. I think it's a wonderful idea that we've brought to the county. And like I said, I'll be brief, but today, Freeholder Voss and I attended the State and Free Legislative Breakfast. A lot of things went on, and the thing that really was stressed is how the state and the federal government is reducing the amount of money given to mental health, whereas we here in Bergen County recognize the problem and we're being more progressive. It doesn't seem to be getting the attention that it really deserves at the state and federal levels. And these are things that we're going to be continuing to petition our state legislators about, which is why I think it was a great thing that they were all in the room today. I know Freeholder Voss, I don't know if more made it, I didn't see her, so I know they announced you. And so, I mean, this is something this Freeholder Board is completely together on. We need to continue to fund mental health. I'm sure Joan and Maura will give more facts, but the one thing that really stood out to me is that 20,000 people are going to lose service because of the cuts by the state and federal government, and that's not acceptable. We as a county will do our part as we have in the past, but we need to get the word out, and we are going to get the word out. And a breakfast like today, where all the legislators are in the room, there's some wonderful keynotes, there were some wonderful speakers. A gentleman from Michigan who spoke on this and how it started in Michigan, and basically the same warning signs have been fired here in New Jersey. We need to step up and petition our legislators to make sure that although Bergen County is doing a wonderful job, in my opinion, we increase mental health because we realize there's an issue. It's not getting the type of play it needs. When you realize we're cutting these funds and we're going to want to pay more for these in hospital bills and indigent care because they're not going to have anywhere to go to get medicine. And it was just something that was an eye-opener. And again, we will continue in Bergen County to do our part. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Voss.
Just one thing, I know a lot of people are very worried about the upcoming election, and I went to a demonstration of the new voting machines that we're going to have. They are really, really state-of-the-art. It will make voting much clearer for many people, and there are great security measures being taken. So, you know, as I said, many people have been, you know, worried about the voting machines, but they're in great shape. And I just want to mention that Freeholder Sullivan, this was a very, very important breakfast that we went to this morning, and we're facing a crisis in mental health funding. And I'll be talking about it much more, but I know that all of us want to go home and watch the debate, so I will keep my remarks very short. That's it.
Thanks, Real Lady Nicole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is true, we are facing a crisis when it comes to behavioral health, especially now with the pending fee-for-service legislation, and so many nonprofit organizations, in addition to government entities, are going to see a reduction in reimbursement, and it's going to become Herculean in order to continue to provide services and programs in the way they have been provided in the future, unless there are some changes. And we don't even know how that's going to impact Bergen Regional Medical Center yet. So we've got a lot of people who are working on this issue, and we're looking for a better outcome. I want to mention too, I was also at the Fall Festival with Freeholder Sullivan. Rutgers Cooperative Extension was there. Of course, there our ag agency, and Joe Flagler, who's been with the county for over 30 years, had organized all of our master gardeners and the 4-H clubs, and they give tremendously to our county park system. They don't always get the accolades they deserve, but they do hundreds of hours of volunteer work in the parks. I also attended the Tree of Addiction conference, which was presented by the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources. That's the Bergen County Prevention Coalition and a part of Children's Aid and Family Services. They had a couple of hundred people there at the Glen Point Marriott talking about addiction. And it was, it remains one of the biggest epidemics that we face in public health. We certainly are working in many different ways to attack the issue. The prosecutor's office has been incredibly supportive because we know we can't arrest our way out of it. We really have to treat those victims, but we also have to go upstream to find the source of the addictions too. So it was good to see all of these different and diverse professionals and agencies together to discuss that. And following up on that, the other night I attended the Recovery Coach graduation. This is the new grant-funded program, which is peer-to-peer counseling. One of the biggest issues we have with addiction is not necessarily getting those arrested or in need to detox, but get them from detox to rehab, both short-term and long-term, and of course transition into life. It's that continuum of care. So these counselors went through more than 30 hours of training, and they are recovering addicts. They really showed a tremendous amount of courage to share this part of their life during the training, and also to be on call for those Narcan saves, so that they can go to the hospitals and encourage them to sign in for detox, to take a road toward recovery, and to talk to them as someone who has been there themselves. And the last thing I'll quickly talk about, although there is so much, is today's Domestic Violence Symposium. This was sponsored by the Prosecutor's Office at the Lyndhurst Bergen Community College campus, and the first half of the day was presented by Dave Cohen and Sean Millard from our own Alternatives to Domestic Violence. There were a couple of hundred attendees, a lot of law enforcement, a lot of professionals, a lot of organizations that support victims of domestic violence. We, and I've spoken about this before, have a premier Alternatives to Domestic Violence division. It's one of the only in the state that is a part of county government, and we treat not only the victim, but the offender, and there was a lot learned today. And if I could just give a very few facts. What precipitated this was last year there were 27 homicides in Bergen County. 19 of them were the result of domestic violence or family violence. That's 70%. This year we have 5 homicides so far. Every single one is the result of domestic violence. And it's growing on our campuses, it's growing among teenagers, and it's something as well that we have to work together in a cooperative way to stay on top of. And I'll end there because I know we want to leave. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Elegance?
Thank you, Chairman. I'll try and be brief. What is very apparent from each of the things that has been talked about is that unlike circumstances that are not planned, these are intended consequences of the legislation. It's designed to take people off of government aid, off of government assistance, and to take them away from the treatment that they need. I can tell you from personal experience with my son, I took him to AA meetings in the morning, I took him to AA meetings at night, every day for 3 years. This is insidious, and ultimately it's going to cost him his life. I'm a Gold Star family, and it's time the government really addressed the issue. The election is something that ought to concern all of us. This past Sunday, I was at the Galilee United Methodist Church, Inglewood, and I heard the pastor speak, as I heard over the past 20 weeks, many other pastors speak about the impending election. They're not advocating one candidate or another. They're simply saying that what you need to do is you need to see what these candidates have delivered in the past and what they're going to deliver in the future. And if their idea of the future corresponds with yours, then they're a candidate you should consider. And if they have a different view on life, well, you can have a different view in the ballot box. I note, on a bright note, that the voter registration deadline closed yesterday, and as of October 5th, more than 200,000 people have registered to vote throughout the state, and 27,000 additional people in Bergen County alone, compared with under 17,000 4 years ago. So this new group of registrants can make a difference. Finally, it wouldn't be a Freeholder evening meeting night if I didn't talk about the Bergen Wellness Card. This remarkable card can be used for people and pets. And when I asked Frank Hughes, I'm holding the card up. Frank, if you'd be kind enough to insert both the telephone number and the discount card, HTTP address. This can save you serious money. If you have a cat that requires tuna flavored amoxicillin, you can get a 30% discount if you use this card with a druggist who does compounding. And there is at least one that I'm aware of not too far from our home, and that's the Glenrock Pharmacy. This costs absolutely nothing. It's free. It was brought to you by the Freeholders more than 10 years ago, and more than 42,000 people use it, and consumer savings to date over $14.5 million. You can also use it for your own drug use, is illegal drugs prescribed by a physician, and And in addition to that, great discounts on hearing aids. Former freeholder McPherson took her mother shopping for a hearing aid in Philadelphia and used the Bergen Wellness Card which she carried in her wallet for 10 years. Her mom picked out a hearing aid that cost about $3,000. With the Bergen discount, it's $900. That's right to the bottom line. That concludes my report. What I just want to say is I don't know when this is going to go on the air. That it has been a privilege to serve with each of you, and you should recognize the hard work that all of these freeholders do. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Freeholders.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Tonight we passed Resolution 1065, which recognized National Disabilities Employment Awareness Month. To that end, this week we had the Assistant Commissioner of Labor come and we unveiled Project Search, where we had the opportunity to tour both Holy Name and Hackensack Hospital, who are our partners in this program, along with the Workforce Development Board, the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, the Department of Developmental Disabilities, the school districts, the non-for-profits, Friendship House, and the ARC. This is, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to make sure that we also get these young people incorporated into the workforce. And hearing their stories about the pride that they have and the jobs that they're doing at these hospitals, and the confidence that this program is instilling in them, it was one of those days you just have, my cheeks hurt from smiling so hard about the work that we all did by forwarding that program and getting that moving. So congratulations to all of us. We are having on November 30th a Project Search information session for next year's class. It's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. at Newbridge High School on 296 East Ridgewood Avenue in Paramus. If you have a student or you know of a student who might be interested in doing this program, it's for 18 to 21-year-olds in the last year of their education. Please come out and apply. This has a 73% placement rating nationwide, and really is an amazing program that we're all very proud of. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. I'm going to waive my report until next meeting in order to let everyone get out of here quickly. So with nothing further to come before this board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned at 8:20.